Now, if I didn't have Data Suite, I would have killed my middle, which absolutely would have hurt. If I lose 200 new add to carts a week, I'm totally feeling that. Now, could it be picked up by another ad? Perhaps. Could the other ad do better? Perhaps. But you know what this is telling me right here is follow Andromeda, which means, is it a winner? Yes. In my book, when I don't measure by just last click and CPA, otherwise my dumbass would be just scaling brand campaigns all the time because hey, it's last click. It looks like great.
Last click. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, this is where they ended. Let's just end more. Cool. That's
sequencing, right. Huh?
Yes. So good. I love
so
sequencing.
Good. Andromeda is like the coolest thing. I was just explaining this to a would-be client of ours, which hopefully does become a client. They actually have a great business, but it's like they're not doing Andromeda. They're not doing what we talk about every single week. I'm like, sorry to say it, but like you need that. And they've got a great creative team. So the strategist could just like tell them all the 10 different types of ads to do, and boom, we create Andromeda and magic happens.
Yeah.
But he said this, and this is going to be interesting. He said, cut the losers and let the winners run, which is fine unless you're in the Andromeda world, because it's not necessarily, they're not necessarily equated, which I know you showed an example last week of like one ad that had like all the ad spend, but only one conversion, but it was leading to an overall global NCAC for all the ads well within the range that client wanted. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we're seeing, like kind of almost like across the board. It's actually really interesting what we're seeing now. And excuse me, it's so good. It's so interesting. I'm just going to dive right in because it's hard to kind of like summarize unless I use I'm very visual, so I can't explain. I'm like an Italian that's handcuffed. I get a speech impediment, because I can't talk.
I think you are part Italian but if Italians needed screen shares, you would be Italian. Screen share like this, yeah.
My this is screen share.
Perfect.
So you'll notice there's no ad sets or campaigns mentioned in the entirety of the Andromeda model, which is so funny. I love it. But what this part here, I'm kind of we've been following this very, very closely for many accounts. And to summarize what we're about to explain, these two things here, you got user requests and you got ads corpus. This is everybody in Meta. This is your ads. And through a basically 3-step process, Meta is going to find what is resonating. And this portion right here looks like a big old, the hierarchical model is like a big old gobbledygook. Like it just looks like, okay, cool. The spaghetti is getting smaller. Like that's basically what this looks like here. What this is signaling is we're testing different ads, different creatives, different users, different targetings, and we're getting the sequence more streamlined. So when it says cut your losers, let your winners run, the losers are not CPA defined. Like in my opinion, and you correct me if I'm wrong, when they say cut the losers and let the winners run, you probably heard that from a CPM perspective, or it's like a CPA perspective. It's typically how people say, well, a winner must be in CPA. But again, in a hierarchical model where you have, sometimes if you follow this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I missed one, but 7, 8, basically how those users are moving through the ad sequencing. If they click and buy, it could be on the first one before they retarget them. It could be on the second one before, or like after they got hit with the first one. I mean, you only get one checkbox out of all of these here that says that this is running. This is why I've always said since day one, focus on spend, don't focus on CPA. Attribution model is poor. Spend model is actually 100% accurate because it's being spent on. So when we look at this thing, we say, okay, well, that sounds cool, but tell me how that works. Like, show me like how this is working. So inside of our own campaign, we've been testing this and then also scaling it. Last 14 days, we spent 91% up, and we can see we're like 2% up in costs, 22% down in costs, 12% up in costs. I mean, we basically added 80 AGs and, it's just up, like nice. Chef's kiss, all this stuff's going good.
Perfect.
But it's not necessarily, what's funny about this is when you look at the spend, let me just take off the last 14 days here. If we look at the spend descending and you look at the CPA, it's like, well, John, that one's better than that one. That one's better than that one. That one's better than that one. Like, this one here, and this one here, John, these are doing better. Like, if you look at, like, you got a 263 compared to a 279. You got a 251 compared to 279. This one actually is something that we're reiterating the SID with red boost. And it's like, man, you got a 661. That's pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you not spending more on those? Why are you still spending on that? And this is where CPA is a poor judge of performance. We don't.
That's exactly what we were talking about.
Bingo. Thank you. Now, here's using the tier 11 data suite. I'll explain why, and it becomes so freaking clear using tier 11 data suite on how to identify the sequencing moving through. Okay. Now, total leads.
We've never shown this before.
I know.
In this way. This is exciting.
New. It's exciting.
New. Listen to us nerding out on this. But
when you cook in the meth lab, there's no shortage of energy. Like that's what I'm saying. It's right there because it's
chaos. Chaos comes with it, but lots of energy and lots of methamphetamine. So keep us going. So that and bang.
That's true. Well, that's basically my meth. So legal.
It's all good.
Yep. So more energy, less jail. It's great. So total leads inside of here is signifying add to carts. And that is just what we have to all just agree on, that when it says total leads, this isn't lead gen. This is how this is identified by like begin checkouts. Like we have their information. They're beginning to check out. So when you have the add to carts, you're thinking about, or when you have the leads, you have like your beginning checkouts, you add to carts, like you're moving into the next stage after the click.
Do you have that labeled that way specifically? Just so
no, that's just a default.
It's just a default. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so it's just a default. So basically, it's like that's how we're optimizing it. So here's what we look at is okay. So got Clarence, and Clarence is doing okay. All right. So remember, we highlighted the ones that are working well. Sid delivers more. This one, remember, this one was doing so terrible. Sid with red boost, man, that was doing bad. That one, Sid with red boost was like 664.
Yeah,
terrible. Yep. So when we're looking through all of these, what we have to notice is while we're highlighting, you know what? I'll group them together. This is the group here, and this is a group here. Let's just use these. Let's, oh, you know what? I'll do it this way. Haha, I found colors inside of here. So this one is green. These two are green, and I'll make these two, we'll make them blue, so that we can identify the differences between them. So you got two different groups. The green group is UGC. The blue group is non-UGC. They're product highlights. What we've identified is that Andromeda has a very specific way that it likes to optimize, which is showing all ads to all users and developing the sequence of what needs to see first, second, third, fourth. On top of that matrix, you're layering in your pain points, your hooks, your offers. So you're trying to basically have product market fit. That's all you're doing when you're doing that with creative. Right. So, but not everyone is going to see everything first, second, third, fourth. Not everyone's going to click the first, second, third, fourth. Not everyone's going to buy from the first, second, third, fourth, and click. So we have to identify what is the trends of analysis that we're doing on the users. And you're going to notice that in the green, and I'm not going to use the same color green because I'm not that good in selecting RGB wheels, but you're going to be able to see that this has some fairly good amount of cold traffic. You got 63, 77, 71. Yep. And then in the bottom row, about the same, 70, 74. Okay, good. Now you're going to also notice
new visit percentage, by the way.
Yeah, sorry,
really
new
high
visit percentage. Exactly.
60 to 70%. Like that's really good. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually very good. That's a hefty amount of cold traffic in terms of Metaland.
Correct.
But you see the blue is in the 40s. So now you're seeing, okay, more first-time visitors on UGC, more second-time visitors on the product ads. Okay, so we're starting to establish a trend. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into that trend. Now the first trend that we're going to notice is, okay, how many clicks before how many add to carts? So we got 10,000 clicks, 189 add to carts. Okay, 63,000 clicks, 62 add to carts. Okay, 24,000 clicks, 79 add to carts. All right, so kind of, all over the board, but a lot of clicks, tens of thousands for not a whole lot of conversion, not a lot of add to carts.
Right.
That's because that's the first interaction that they've had with that product, that ad, our brand, etc. It is like, hi, I'm John. The next thing out of the customer's mouth is going to be like, I'll buy one today.
Right.
We're skipping the middle part. So next we have to look at, now, how did the blue do? The blue
is
about
1%. Thereabouts. It's about 1%. Well, maybe not the 24,000, but it's about 1%, which is about, that makes sense. Like we usually say, like 1% of your traffic is going to click and buy in most cases. This is an add to cart, so it's not entirely accurate, but yeah. Yeah.
It's like we're starting to see the trends analysis. Now let's go down to the blues. Now, after they click, they look at the product, they've maybe added to cart. Most of them didn't, but you got a lot of understanding about what this is. So actually, let me, I did everyone a disservice. Let me back up one step. What has happened so far that we discussed is we've shown a UGC ad to fairly cold traffic. We say, hey, look at this dog. This dog was sick and now they're on the mend, and look at the before and after. They were kind of like, not that great. Now they're happy, healthy.
Right.
And they said, wow, I love success stories about dogs being healthy. I wonder how that happened. I'm going to click. The other ones say, you know what? Great for the dog. Happy, fun story. I'm scrolling on. Great.
Yep.
So the people that click, they say, aha, that's the product. They're learning about it. And they say, that's interesting. Maybe I'll come back to this. I'll look at this later. They leave.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second thing that happens most often, based on percentiles of user journeys, is we identify that the product ad has most often the second click because we have a lot warmer traffic. We also have a lot fewer clicks. Now, these fewer clicks, we'll highlight these the same that we highlighting the green. Now we have 3,752 compared to 76.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vast difference because if we look at 24,000 got us 79, only 3,000 got us almost 79. So you can see that these people are much more warmer.
Right.
And there's a lot fewer visits, but a lot higher added cards. Look at the next one down, 3,900, very similar to the 3,700, 232 add to carts. Okay, very interesting.
Yep.
So now here's what's interesting. Now you got the Sid delivers more and you got the Sid with product red boost. Their second click, warm traffic, high amount of add to carts. Let's take one step deeper. I'm not going to X out of this. I'm just going to use use this version. So it's the same screen. I'm just not drawing on it. But what you'll notice here is those 232 in the Sid with red boost. If you click on this from a total add to cart, this is first click attributed, by the way, is the attribution model that we're using. You'll notice that in here, out of 232 total add to carts in this campaign, 182 were new. Second click, first add to cart. Aha. So we have first click, not that many add to carts. Second click, a lot of add to carts. Okay. Yeah. Now let's see what the Sid with red boost is. The Sid with red boost. There we go. Sid with red boost Sid delivers more, 76. So now we have Sid delivers more, 276. Now let's look at these. 72 out of the 76 are new and only 4 re-engaged. Okay. So what this is telling us is that when they see the first 1 or 2 or 3 ads, there is a massive ton of clicks. Right. And then when they click again, there's a massive amount of add to carts. Now, if we look at our essentially, look, where is, I had NCAC. Oh, there it is, NCAC. On the Sid delivers more and the Sid with red boost is 393, 292. On the Tim dog, it's 636. Well, on the Tim dog, which I don't know where Tim dog is.
I thought I saw him. You can search. Tim, where are you? Tim. Come here, Tim.
927. I know, right? I'm gonna start actually calling my real dog out there. Let's I'm sorry, we did end up pausing that one. I'm looking at the last 30 days and I'm querying the last 14 days. Let's just move on to the ones that have ads. We paused Tim and Paul. So Clarence here, for example. Let's just find Clarence. So there's Clarence right here. Yep. Clarence has got a 276 NCAC and the Sid with red boost is 292. So Clarence is 301, Sid with red boost 664. Wow, that's very different, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yes. Now, if we were to go ahead and say, you know what, I just don't think that Sid with red boost is working at 664. Remember, the Meta and Andromeda engine is last click. Yeah. We're importing, though, first click conversions. So when you import first click and it says, hey, this is the amount of people that did the last click, it means that this is getting the highest amount of add to carts per click, but that is not where they started or where they necessarily ended. Okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to take one of my biggest add to cart performers and shut it off because the CPA isn't there.
If you didn't have Tier 11 Data Suite, plug Tier 11 Data Suite, of course, you would have made a very large error.
We probably would have paused it. Yeah. I mean, if all signs pointed to, well, yes, we would. This would absolutely be something that we would end up pausing. But this is something that we're going to be continuing on with further.
Right. So it's early days anyway. Like the ad's only been live, what, a day or two?
Yeah. It was been live 3 days. Now, what's the first thing? I launched it in the first 3 days and it doesn't look that good. So I paused it. Every freaking person I launched a campaign or launched ad, and in the first week I started hacking off ads that are having low CPA or high CPA. Again,
the old way of doing things.
Exactly. You cannot do it that way. I mean, this is a crazy ad CAC, $857. I'm like, I don't care. That's delivering the highest amount of ad cards we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that isn't a fantastic, and majority of them are cold. 3/4 of them are cold. I would have taken 200 cold add to carts and just chucked out the window because Andromeda didn't say a last thing that they ever did ever to the website was there. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Just like how I also don't look at the first thing that they ever did ever.
Starve the ponies, feed the stallions is no longer in existence, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. This is no longer in our control. It's now only in our understanding.